All right, Black Box Radio. Listen, Black Boxes, listen, audience. I am excited, excited, excited. It is the 7th month of 2023. So we're half a year down. We're half a year in. And it's a beautiful, warm day in Baltimore. And we are in the box. And we got Doc in the box. This is probably the series that I am so smitten with, guys. You guys don't know. This guy across from me right here, he's the real deal. He right, Doc? Are you there?
Say again?
Are you there? You are frozen.
Oh, am I not here anymore?
Oh, there you go. Now you were a little frozen. But this is Doc in the Box,
Am
and
I frozen in?
yeah, you're a little frozen, but you're still good. This is Black Box Radio,
Okay.
and this is our monthly series on YouTube, and it's the digital healing circle where we heal and we consider how you feel. The audience is our co-host. So
Let's see if you
huh? What you say, Doc? You're frozen. I don't know what's going on with your screen, but you're frozen. But yeah, this is where we want the audience to jump in the chat. Don't hold back. Where this is a healing circle. So we're going to talk about real-time issues, and the baseline topic is white oppression, Black trauma. So that's the baseline topic, but we're going to kind of apply it to modernized issues. That's the goal. And so we got the psychosocial clinician in the house, so he can break it down to the down. I'm Queen of B. I'm a host at Black Box Radio. We are a multimedia platform. We illustrate Black excellence. We expose Black genius. We definitely disseminate information to the community, the Black community, and other communities. We do this a few times a month. Please like, share, subscribe. Subscribe to our YouTube. Subscribe to our website. Check us out. We are BLakCentered. We're doing the damn thing. You see, our guest is gone. He's having some issues. But this is a monthly series. Don't go nowhere. We're going to fire up. We're going to have a good time tonight. We're going to talk about some things that shows how our behaviors today are definitely correlated with oppression. And we have to look at them. We have to flip them. And we have to sometimes, and I'm not going to say be better. I'm going to say, let's be aware. Because, we're not here to criticize. We're here to motivate, elevate, and level on Black people. So we're waiting on Dr. Da. And as we wait, I want you guys to kind of think about this month and this week and what in your life do you think particularly white oppression has affected? And how do you feel traumatized? And a lot of us don't even know. We don't know that we're traumatized. We don't know how we're feeling. We don't know how we're affected. So that's what we're here to do, is kind of give you an overall kind of spectrum about how oppression affects behavior and it builds trauma. And trauma is something that you have to work on. And it doesn't have an expiration date. It continues to manifest. So our brother's back, Dr. Da. Dr. Da, come on in here. How's your internet, bro? You good? You have an internet issues. There you go.
Let me know.
Yeah, you having some internet issues. I see you, but you good? What you doing over there? Close everything. All you need to do is focus on Black Box Radio. Huh?
No. I'm trying to broke.
So this is your turn to say hi to the people, but I think your internet is not doing very well today. Our connection is not too good. Are you there? You're not there. He's gone again, guys. So this is Doc in the Box. He's the doc. That's Dr. Dennis Ossaw Winkler Jr. He's going to introduce himself, but he is a psychotherapist in Baltimore City. He serves, he has clients. He's well loved in the Black community. He's an activist. He's a Baltimorean. and he's a man of solutions. And so I thought it was important for us to talk about real things that are affecting us as a whole, as a community, and also individually. But we cannot fix this alone. So, and when I say this, I'm talking about the state of our being, and not that we're in this horrible, horrible state, but we got to clean up. We definitely got to clean up. We definitely got to focus on ourselves and rebuilding ourselves and understanding triggers, understanding situations, understand why we do the things that we do, so we can correct and start changing the next generation. So we're not particularly like me, these old folks, you know how we are. We in our stuff, but these younger folks, we want to pour into them. You know what I'm saying? We want to leave them something, because the world is changing. Real talk. I mean, the temper of the world is changing. The color of the world is going to change. We are world citizens, African, not the African, all over the diaspora and the continent. We are mostly, I think we're 56%, they said, of the population, brown African people. And then Europeans are 17% of the world population. So that tells you that the world is colored, and it's going to get, the crayon box is about to get some more colors, because we keep creating colors as we mix in and doing all of that. But we still have to understand why we behave or we do the things that we do. And so some of that is at least talking about it. The communication is what the DHC does. It's a digital healing circle. We're still waiting on Dr. Da. He's having some issues, so I'm just talking. You know, guys, I'm going to talk. So I'm just talking. But we're waiting on Dr. Da to come back in. He's tried twice, so we hope we can roll the circle today. But anyway, so I want to kind of elevate the people, elevate the conversation on us as we're in the 7th month of 2023. We're 6 months in. Have you accomplished something? Are you looking to accomplish a goal in 2023? Are you closer to it? Because we're half a year in. So you got to kind of look at that. Like, where are you right now? I say take an audit. Like, look at yourself, look at your life, look at where you at. That's what I'm doing. I'm kind of like auditing this thing, like looking at it like, you know, what should I be doing? Like, am I really working on a goal, or I put the goal there and I'm just chugging along? So what am I going to do in this 7th month to kind of push myself into getting towards goals, achieving things, looking at legacy? As you get older, you got to look more at what you're doing right now, or what you did. You're more looking at what you're going to leave. And, you know, we all at different points in our lives. And so if you're young, listen, look at building, look at technology. Technology is the key. It is the balanced instrument of growth. That's what it is. So you want to look at that. If you're, I think every age group has to use technology, and they have to look at it. AI, all these different things. We got to look at all of that. So I'm getting a call from Dr. Dennis. Hey, you know, I'm still on. I'm talking.
What?
Yeah, I'm live now while we're on the phone. Okay. See, it says Dr. Da, guys.
All right, I'm gonna try.
I'm here.
All right, no problem.
Okay. So that's him calling me on my live. So we're live, and he's supposed to be in here with me. He's calling me because he's having some issues. So he is the feature. I just posed the questions, but I'm posing questions to the audience. Like, listen, it's the 7th month. Make the audit. Do the personal audit, and then you do the assessment. So we're gonna audit. Yeah, we're gonna write some of this down. You know, we're gonna make this a little teaching circle today, since just the Da's not here. So this is 7th month, right? So we're gonna do an audit. I mean, you're gonna look at yourself, look at your goals, look at where you are. Look at where you are. You know, kind of look at yourself and say, you know, have I made it towards the goal? So look at where you're at, and then we're gonna do the assessment of that. And that assessment is to really try to assess it and make it like something that you really, really either change, you add, you augment, whatever. So assessment is just really setting down the blueprint for the growth. All right, so that's the second thing we're going to do in the 7th month of 2023. All right, so we got Dr. Da. He's back. Let's see. Come on in here, sir. My brother.
Yes.
Look at you. So fresh and so clean. What was going on? What's up?
You're the reason for the, I don't know how to make it rhyme, but for the season.
You gotta get your bars right, bro. Get your bars right.
Oh, yeah, my camera's going everywhere.
Oh my gosh.
Well, it doesn't look like Umar. When Umar camera fell, you know what happened?
What?
You saw all types of filth.
I know. I'm like, what is he doing? What that brother doing?
I saw y'all with y'all little Umar. Yeah, he's speaking truth this week. I was like, okay.
I mean, you know what? You cannot. This ain't about you, Umar, because this is the DHC, the Digital Healing Circle. But Umar, my brother, I respect him. He's a smart guy. He's a talent.
I disagree, but
you don't think he's smart?
I mean, a talent maybe. I
think he's talented. I think he is an intellectual. I think sometimes he's off course.
Well, he's intellectual. Yes,
he's intellectual. He stimulates thought.
He's a talent, but smart might be questionable.
Ooh. Listen, I didn't say. Let's go on to the DHC. My brother Umar, I respect you, brother. Come on, talk to us. Come in the circle, bro. Come talk to us. That's what we're about. But anyway, yeah, Umar can come on in here. Shoot, bring him on here and let y'all go at it. I know you. That's when your beard be out. You be ready then. I know it's be on and popping up in here.
I wouldn't waste my time with that one.
But oh no, you didn't. So listen, say hi to the people and apologize to the Black Box
for technical difficulties. Thank you all for your patience. Thanks, Sister Queen, for holding it down and doing your thing. And yes, the best, the number one person in showbiz, all that.
You a mess, dude. I was trying to stimulate the people while you're the superstar. I'm just here rolling with you. So, I was telling, if you look in the chat, I kind of said this is the 7th month of the year, right? Mm-hmm. And we got to do that thing. You got to make that audit. You got to look where you at, and then you do that assessment. You get a blueprint, assess where you at, and then do some action and do it. Are you get to the goal? Are you moving towards the goal? Are you sluggish? But we 7 months in. So, I was trying to say to the Black Box is like, listen, if there is a goal, you got to audit where you at to getting towards that goal. Because we don't want 2023 to end because we only got 2 more quarters. We in the 3rd quarter, and it's over.
Okay.
So that's what I was kind of bringing up. I made the 3A's: audit, assessment, action.
Okay. So you do some of those things, huh? Yeah, audit, assessment, and action. So that means you have 1 more quarter left to get it right.
1 more quarter. Yeah, we're in the 3rd. You got 1 more quarter plus 2 months. So let's do it.
So we got to knock some things out.
So you know what, Dr. Dodd, I love the DHC. I think it's so important. It is something that we need to talk about our things, but also have some respect for people's feelings and then their lived experience. And I think that's what we have here. We have some lived experiences, we got some and we Black folks. So love this circle. And I wanted to talk about, we just had July 4th. And this holiday and this African psychosis we're in. Because America sets up these holidays like the July 4th and all of this, Christmas, all of these Western holidays, pagan holidays, they call some of them. And most of them are not true. That's what's so scary. The Easter Bunny don't lay eggs. Santa Claus ain't never came in no chimney in the projects. Jesus don't have no birthday. It's just so many things. We could just keep going on. Thanksgiving is derived from something very terrible that happened to Indians. I mean, we can go on. Valentine's Day, St. Valentine was nothing nice. He was a murderer. So we could just keep going on and on and on about the holidays that we set forth. And July 4th just left, and it's the freedom of America from, I guess, Britain or their cousins or whatever. But Africans wasn't free. And we're forced to celebrate lies over and over in this country. What kind of psychosis does that put us in? Or how does that affect the African, in other words?
Wow, I mean, you starting out with some hell of a question, huh?
I'm throwing it on you today.
I think it depends, right? I think that we've lost context. I don't really think most people feel like it's impacting them on a significant level. Just to celebrate holidays, whereas they just see them as times to have fun, spend time with family, drink.
Yeah.
I believe Frederick Douglass, and pardon me, I don't remember exactly what he said, but he speaks about what is this 4th of July to me,
Yeah, his speech.
Yeah, and I think that speech in and of itself is indicative of what was going on then is still going on today.
Yeah.
Time to have fun, a time to get drunk, a time to self-medicate. As we kind of were speaking about on the last show, it's a time to self-medicate. So hence, many of us don't know the history. We don't really care to know the history, which is indicative of our trauma. When we look at trauma on a level that is individual or individualized, we don't tend to try to look back historically in our past. So we flesh that out or step that up a bit to speak about it as a group. We can kind of use that same lens and say many of us don't look back at our history. We don't want to look at what happened. We want to live right now for right now, because tomorrow's probably not promised. So I think there's similarities on the individual level and on the group level.
So that's a great assessment, that people are just looking to have fun, just to be off work, just to enjoy their family. The context of it is not even important. It's about, just a new reality for the moment. That's what you're kind of saying, right?
Yeah, I mean, we'll find we're being rewarded with a day off. Is I think Frederick Douglass speaks in that actual piece that many have shared. I think he speaks to that being part of the problem. As well, we want to, and he may have not used the word self-medicate, but it's a time to get drunk and numb yourself to the reality of what's really going on. This is the time that master and boss allowed you to get off, to give you a little something to keep you going.
Yeah.
And not see the reality and the plight of what's really going on.
So in all actuality, is that you're saying there's probably no trauma in that for us, because really we're not even looking at it in that context?
No, I'm saying to some degree, a great degree, it is trauma, because if you look at an individual again who suffers from traumas, many times they don't want to look back in their history. They don't want to look back at their childhood. They don't want to look back at what really took place, because it's too triggering to them. It's too re-traumatizing. It's difficult. So likewise, on a group level, we don't want to look back and see what the reality of this holiday is, because we just want to have fun. We want to live in the moment. We want to feel thrills right now. And likewise, you see that on an individual level. So what I'm saying is, to some degree, we can say that is a traumatic state of being. It's not that it's the holiday itself is traumatizing. The holiday itself is self-medicating. The trauma is already taking place, and we don't want to look back at it historically, because you're just trying to blow my fun. I don't want to look back at I don't want to look at another slave movie. I don't want to look at all this history. That is in the past. Why should I look at these
That
things?
black shit is over now.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm American.
Yeah.
And I can't, and to a great degree, I can't blame people who feel that way because they're just trying to preserve themselves. They're trying to feel good. But the reality is that doesn't work. Similarly, you'll see that with people on the individual level. You'll see that they're just trying to live in a moment. They're trying to find a way to cope with the pain. They're trying to find a way to block the memories. They're trying to find a way to not deal with that and block it out. And I'm saying on a group level, we're dealing with that in holidays. And holidays are just another, not all holidays, but many of the holidays that you're speaking to, especially 4th of July, is a holiday to help you feel, and is an intoxication day. Party day. It's a feel good day. So I want to feel good. And why you want to blow my high with talking about all this goddamn history?
That's it. That's it. And wow. And so and what's so amazing is, and what I want folks to see is like the system plays that up. They know. The system understands that, but it makes money off of that. It continues to tell you that it's independence. It's a celebration. The media works with it. The stores show the color of the flag. You understand what I'm saying? It's a continuous onslaught from all the systems of America telling you that this is good, this is fun, we're going to enjoy ourselves. But really, and you never think about, wait a minute, my people weren't free. They were still hurt. Actually, we're still hurting. And we haven't even been repaired from that hurt, and we're celebrating freedom.
We don't know we're celebrating freedom.
We don't even know we're celebrating freedom.
We're celebrating the 4th of July.
Yes.
What you do on the 4th of July is you light firecrackers, drink liquor, beer, and have a cookout.
Don't forget they smoking weed now.
Well,
you know we about to segue.
Smoking cigarettes, smoking cigars, shaking, all that. None of that in and of itself is totally a bad thing, but it's definitely being abused in our community. And so the thing is, 4th of July in itself may not be super bad, quote unquote, but the reality is the idea that I don't even look back and look at the history is indicative of the trauma. So
and not wanting to know is indicative of trauma.
Yeah. And now if I did look back, I probably wouldn't want to celebrate 4th of July. I wouldn't have the same joy. And in fact, I don't want to look back because I don't want you to mess up my joy. Why do you want to mess up my joy? Why do you want to mess up my joy? Why do you want to steal my joy? Why would you want to do that to me? I mean, I just want to live happy right now. Do you have to blow everything?
That's it. That's what I wanted to hear. And I know there's some sentiments out there. So I just want Black people to look at that. Like, that behavior comes from somewhere. When you don't want to know about you or what happened to you or where you came from, then that's the problem. And you got to solve that problem. And that's why you see continuous trauma, because you haven't solved it. So that's what I want to talk about, because, we continue every month. And I think a lot of the holidays, of course, are to collect money. I call them bank holidays. The bank is closed, but they're collecting. You know what I'm saying? Because people are buying and they're cooking out, and they're doing, so there's so many other aspects. Every holiday is about food and going to the grocery store and eating, you know what I'm saying, with the family.
Well, capitalism will corrupt any and everything. So it's not necessarily that the holiday itself or the holidays themselves are necessarily
capitalism
innately bad, because Kwanzaa is now being monetized and capitalized.
Absolutely.
And Juneteenth is now being capitalized and monetized and commercialized and all these different things. So yeah, it's not. That's what I would say.
Oh, you're right. Capitalism is a corrupter.
Yeah.
That's where it all relies. And the holidays are the pawn. Capitalism is the daddy. Am I correct?
I think the holidays aren't necessarily bad. They're
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're a pawn in the game. They're just being used.
I'll call them interventions. I'll call that culture. I'll call that we need holidays, right? Like, so we need holidays, holy days, whatever you want to call them. We need them. The problem is that that in a capitalistic society, they will take Jesus's birthday and they will make that a bad thing. They will corrupt that. They will take any holy day even and make that about commercial. They will commercialize it and make money off of it. It doesn't matter. They will take you as a beautiful woman and make you. They will see what we saw on the Essence Awards. They'll what we see with men. They'll just exploit you. And so when
you exploit yourself in it too. It makes you think exploitation is fine. It's okay.
Well, yeah. Well, you know
what I mean.
It's funny that you say that because I didn't post this one yet, but I began to write a post. A post that speaks to that, and I didn't. Well, I can't find it right now, but yeah, go ahead.
Okay, exploitation is what, and I'm so glad you said that. But capitalism breeds, in other words, and so it breeds it, and it makes it so prevalent in society that you think it's okay, that you will exploit your body, you exploit your children, you exploit everything.
Well, the problem
for that cash.
They're exploiting. Maybe they are exploiting their body, but the reality is more like they're being exploited.
Well, I mean, they're being exploited as their body.
Yeah. And hence what they're doing is trying to survive in a society that doesn't care about them.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Oh my goodness, that's it. So you segue right into the Essence Awards and
let me say this.
My beautiful sister KeKe and Janelle Monáe.
So
these my sisters.
I didn't find it. I mean, I didn't finalize this yet. I might finalize it. So pardon me if it comes off a little rough. But I say a capitalistic and oppressive society will have you feeling revolutionary and liberated when you're just being exploited.
That's the truth. I'm saying it's so prevalent in your life and in society, it becomes okay. Just like we see murder now. Murder is so prevalent. We're like, we just change. Okay, next. What's going to happen next? Somebody else going to die tomorrow. So when things are so prevalent around you, you become it. So we see now women are exploiting themselves. You don't have to. They do it themselves. Like, so now, and so this big thing is about, my sister Janelle, beautiful sister. She ain't got to take nothing off, but of course they taking it off. My beautiful sister KeKe, smart, intelligent, just had a baby. She got a buttocks up there with Usher. They doing the damn thing. And listen, I ain't attacking the sisters, not doing that. But I just want us to understand that when the body that God has given us, I call it the 8, brother Doc, Dr. Doc. It's the 8. God gave us this 8, and it's so great.
Okay,
that we got, that we cannot just let everybody see it, let everybody touch it. So I'm just saying to the sisters is protect the 8. Listen, that's the new hashtag. Protect the damn 8.
Protect the 8.
Protect the 8. We are shapely, we are beautiful, and that's what was bestowed upon Black women. It should be preserved, not thrown out there in a dress that I don't give a damn where you at. So sis, I'm ain't no attack on my sister, because I love you, KeKe. I love you, Janelle. Listen, I'm telling you, it's no attack. I just want us to understand that we got to protect the 8.
But I think the issue here is that they feel like that is allowing them to be sexually liberated because they feel oppressed. So that's why I go back to this point that a capitalistic and oppressive society will have you feeling revolutionary and liberated when you're just being exploited. So that's how tricky it really is. It'll have you think you're doing something for, you're standing up for you being a woman, because men can walk around without shirts. And the reality is that women in other countries, in Africa and so in other places can do the same. They can walk around without shirts even. But the problem is that is the culture allows that, and it's
Yes.
not being sexually exploited.
If they are naked, it's not for sex. It's not
Yeah,
for exploitation.
yeah.
Yes.
And even when you look at it, they're not walking around trying like. And this is the thing. Like, there's this. We're just walking. We're just showing ourselves because we can, and men can do all what they want to do. But the reality is, there's a lot of sexual undertones whenever you do it.
Yeah.
The women in Africa are walking around naked. They're not doing a mating dance. But whenever
No.
you put that dress on and those pumps on, you're doing a real mating dance.
It's for some type of reaction. You're doing it for something.
Yes. So if you
Yes.
weren't doing it for the, and then also it's so different that you're going to stand out, right? Whereas in Africa, everybody's doing it. It's so people are numb to it. Not the entire continent of Africa, but certain tribes. I just saw a picture of I think I can't remember in South Africa somewhere in that South Africa where I think might have been more like in the Zulu tribe, like where the women had their breasts um, exposed and what have you, but it was not everybody's like that. So it's the norm. It's
It's
a
the
part of,
norm. It's the culture of the
it's
spot.
not being overly sexualized. But as
Yes.
soon as you do this, and I mean, if you did it and you weren't trying to be overly sexual with it, then
Why'd you do it?
I can really buy it to a degree. But no, there's a whole sexualization, even to the point. And I'll be honest, and this might be not taken so well, but um, and I think that women should be able to nurse their children. I do. I really do.
Me
I
too.
I do.
I think we
Um,
got to get past that. Yes.
yeah. Now, but I've seen how some women who call themselves advocates sexualize that to a great degree, and
Yeah.
that is to me an issue. Like now, that has to be sexualized. Like,
Yeah.
and how does that happen? Somebody might say, how does that look? I mean, if you can, do you? I mean, it's just a certain way that they're doing everything. They're making it more sensual. They're just doing so much with it. Like they just position themselves. Like you can tell this picture is supposed to like really. It's. I don't want to say too much, but it's really provocative in a way. Let me just say that.
Okay.
And what? Well, why you're provoked because you're a man? No, you kind of can tell the difference between someone who's honestly doing it. I see sisters in the community do it all the time, but
Yep.
some of the sisters come on, they got their hair done, their eyelid, they didn't did everything up to the T, and then they somehow found a way to put their breast in the baby's mouth and put their arch in their back and their leg up in a certain position, and then
Sound like you've seen this before.
yeah, I'm
So,
telling you, I've
so
seen
I'm
this.
very enticed.
So there's a difference between really nursing your children and being very holistic and organic about it, and now mixing that with sex. And what I mean by sex, I mean sexualizing it. Um,
Absolutely. I agree. I understand what you're saying. I think too, sexualization is a part of the, the woe, the white oppressy complex. So
Absolutely.
it's sexualization makes it all work. That's part of exploitation. It
Mhm.
all gets down to capitalism. It all
It gets
breaks
you,
down to capitalism working because sexualization is the tool.
yes, it gets you more TikTok views. It gets you more
Yes.
book
You get
and
rewarded for that behavior.
like
Yeah.
and all those things and not knowing and again, I believe that women should be able to nurse their children and I know plenty of women who do, but they're not sexualizing it, and I'm not saying you can't, and don't get me incorrect in saying you can't look good and also nurse your baby. I'm saying that there's a difference and we just have to be honest with ourselves.
You brought up the nursing. Yeah. I never even thought about that. But I guess that's something you brought that up. That's true. I guess women are doing that too. It's really hard in this society with any body part. So let me tell the sisters, leave your body parts in your dress. Can you please just do that and wear a whole dress, sis?
Why
Just
you
wear
say
a
that?
whole dress. Janae, keep your titties in your bra.
Why?
Sis, cause you keep them in the bra, bro. I mean, we know what's in the bra.
I think it's one
Everybody
thing.
know what's in the bra.
I
You ain't
think,
got to show nobody.
yeah, but I get it, right? But
What you get?
I think there's a fair argument from their perspective if we don't if we don't flesh out why you believe they need to leave their breast in the bra, like because
Why I believe is protect the 8.
protect.
We I'm hashtag protect the 8.
Mhm.
Black women, and I'm not saying other race. Listen, because this is a black center. People say, "Oh, other people that no." I'm talking about black women.
Mhm.
We are very shapely,
Mhm.
the most shapely.
Mhm.
You know, we rolling with the sauce. That's just what it is. It's always been that way. It's always gonna be that way. We got that divine 8. So all I'm saying is whatever it takes to protect the 8, protect it.
So why can't I mean, why not show it though? I mean, like,
No, you don't have to show it because listen, that's why it's an 8. When you wherever you put it in, it shows itself. It cannot be denied. It is divine.
okay, I get that, but see, sisters feel, and this is a real, I
It's a real thing. I know it is.
to some of the argument, and I mean, to be honest, if I really had to be honest, men aren't. They say men can walk down the street with their shirts off, and men can, for the most part, but even men aren't that respected of walking around with their shirts off. To be honest with you, I mean, they might have a 6-pack, and women might like it, and maybe some brothers might like it too.
I
But
see a lot of shirts that should be on too.
yeah, and well, see, that's not
I see a
necessarily.
lot of shirts that should be on.
Well, I mean, see, that's part of the issue too, though. I mean, because that right there is saying that you. I mean, I'm assuming, I could be wrong, that you're saying because he has a keg belly that he
And
should.
some titties.
Is
See,
so,
those titties we're not talking about. I want you to talk about them. Because
but
you always talk about, I heard you talk about the nursing and the women's titties. Let's talk about these man titties out here.
no, see, no. Keep in mind what I said was women should be able to nurse, and I believe they should be able to nurse wherever they are.
I understand you said that, but you said the
Yeah.
sexualization. But how
Now,
can I sexualize man titties?
well, he definitely. What I'm saying, see, I'm not discriminating between skinny or fat, right?
Right.
What if anybody, if it's a woman or male, and they feel confident in their body, but I'm just being honest. I applaud them. Now, it might not be culturally appropriate for what I'm not saying he should walk down the street with his shirt off, because I'm just saying that's not even looked at as a pro-social behavior, even for men.
No, that's not bad, even bad behavior in this society. A man with no shirt off.
No, I'm saying I don't think it's even well. Okay, what I'm saying is not necessarily pro-social either. What I mean is a lot of men walking with their shirts off, skinny, fat, cut up, cut around. It's not really looked at. It's looked at as threatening. It's looked at as less than what is it? Less than it's not appropriate. Although you can do it, you can do it, but it's not looked at as, it's not something that people respect. Some men can't wear shorts and be respected. There's different codes of culture to say that you don't get respect if you do these things. Like, for example, you will hardly probably see a brother from the Nation of Islam walking around with shorts on.
I've never seen it.
So there's certain codes and certain cultures that say cover up, do this. You're not, like, even some stores, you can't go into a store with you. Like, some stores say you got to have a shirt on. I don't care what your sex is. So I'm saying it's not necessarily you can't just show up in the boardroom with your shirt off if you're a man or not. You probably,
you can, but you won't be there long.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Even if you're a man and you walk in now this is a greater point. A man will have hell if he walks in the room. This is what we're not saying either. A man will have hell if he walk in there with some sheer pants on and a speedo, some speedos. Huh?
That'd be what's up, but we can't get that.
You say it again.
That would be okay, but
I don't think
we're gonna get that.
I don't think that would be okay. A man would not be respected. He will be called out for walking around in a.
But women are with sheer dresses with their butt out. So we should be able to see men with sheer pants and speedos. Why not?
Well, especially if he has a thong on.
Yes, a thong.
I mean, maybe Prince would be now. Maybe Prince would have done something like that, and maybe it wouldn't have been as much. I don't know.
And Prince's man, it would have been Prince's with a thong and sheer stuff, and you were like, wow.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean,
Prince is a different being. We talk about
it just depends, right? Like nobody's talking about Madonna. If Madonna did something, people would almost say, okay, Madonna did it. I don't even know if she's alive still, but
yeah, come on, bro, she's alive. But KeKe did it, and I'm not.
Oh,
I don't. She looked beautiful, but I don't. You know, she just had a baby, and I know the boyfriend got on and talked about it.
Oh,
but you know, I'm bigging her up. Like,
you know what? It's not even about that. It's not even about what she had on per se. It's about the actions with what she had on.
I get it.
I'm talking about what
you think her action was inappropriate.
Well, I'm not saying it's inappropriate or appropriate. What I am saying is that I think we were inappropriate. The community. Well, I mean, I think that he was inappropriate possibly with going on the media, but who knows what happened before she went out there like that. People are assuming that they didn't have a conversation. I don't know what happened. But what I do know is two people can have if they're in a relationship, can request something of another. I wrote a post about it today even. And I think that sometimes what happens is we haven't dealt with our trauma to the degree that what happens is we say a man can't ask me that. Let me just read the post and kind of set this up a little bit. So what I wrote in my post is your partner, whether male or female, deserves space to ask certain things out of you without reactively being labeled as insecure. However, certainly everything asked for doesn't have to be granted. If not granted, they have to decide where they go from there. Did you catch that?
You're talking about the dynamics of relationship now.
Yeah, because that's what really took place. I mean, I don't think people would have been really, really, really bothered by KeKe. What's her name? KeKe Palmer.
Yep.
If she would have just showed up and her butt was out, that wouldn't have been a problem. It wouldn't have, because this is the norm.
way she got on stage and did all of that. That's what you're saying.
So that wouldn't even been a problem. The problem came about when her man went on the internet and said that was unmotherly.
That's a problem. So
now people jump to her defense and say, "Who are you? You broke. You're not a man. You're a beta. You're not. You want traditional. You have these traditional values, but you don't have the money to be with traditional values. That so all these things took place with the assumption that we all know what took place, that he didn't say anything or they
between
didn't
them two.
Yeah, and he's showed his own videos with her. I guess, I don't know, maybe smacking her butt or something on Instagram, TikTok or something. I'm not sure what they did because I'm not really into all that. What I am saying is dressing like that would not be such an issue if he had not put that out there. Somebody told me, I heard a sister on another station say, she was a sister. She was like, she has no problem with women wearing this sheer thing, but come on now, it went from once every 2 years to every year to once a year to every 2 months somebody's wearing the sheer dress. Come up with something new, she said. So I'm not into pop culture that much to know.
I agree with that too. So I just don't understand why we got to be sheer. But I mean, I understand. It's just like the limits are never going to stop. You're sheer now. What's next? Naked? What are we going to? I don't understand the movement towards no clothes. Yeah, I mean, where are we going? I just want Black women to listen.
She's an entertainer. She's an entertainer, right?
Yeah, she's an entertainer all around. A singer, an actor, a host of Good Morning America. She's amazing. She's intelligent. She's a lot of things. She's an activist in her own right. She's done some amazing stuff with activism. I want her to understand that, listen, you ain't got to do that, sis. You have done it all and you're going to do more.
Well,
So,
some people said she did it because she may have felt like she's been pregnant and now she has this new body and her body is bam 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 now, or that she wanted to feel good about herself. And why can't she feel good about herself? And
but that again is just oppression and a trauma. Feeling good about yourself does not mean you exploit yourself.
so that right there is a symptom of being traumatized or feeling like
Yes.
you haven't gotten the attention that you desire or needed, and you're already KeKe Palmer, and you don't have enough. Like we talked about our dear brother earlier, you can tell he's struggling with some things because he has all the attention in the world, but he can't get enough. And what I mean, he can't get enough, and nobody's supporting him, and nobody's doing it, and nobody, because you never get enough attention. And people don't. At some point, it doesn't matter if you have negative publicity or positive publicity. When you have personality things going on, some personality stuff going on, you will do anything to get the attention, to fill that void that you have inside of you that says that I'm not enough, I wasn't loved, or just sucked up by this culture. This culture.
Yeah, I'm not being seen.
I'm not being seen.
Yeah, and somebody of her stature, she's everywhere. How can you? People say, well, how could she? Definitely is not feeling like that, but we don't know how people are feeling because we're not resolving trauma. Even the reaction to her action is traumatic and exploitative, and then the reaction by the community is seated in trauma. Like she just want to look good for one night. I don't care what you want to do. You don't have to exploit yourself to look good because you already look good. Because you're a Black woman.
Look how good you look at you, clinician. You over there telling me, well, how's this trauma? But you breaking it down right now. You breaking it down right now. I hear you.
Protect the 8. I'm passionate about the 8. We got to protect the 8. We naturally got the 8. Everybody else buying the 8. We got the 8, shorty. Protect it.
So this is
all right, so we're moving on.
This is another post that I've written. It says culture is essential for a functional society. So I want to bring this culture, and I said some of what Essence Music Festival highlighted was an exploited and traumatized version of our culture, not the essence of it.
There was no essence in Essence.
And I think that's important because what we're lacking is a healthy cultural framework.
Yeah.
And in this society, to be an individual is was it lifted up or what have you. It's more you get congratulations for being an individual. And that's how an oppressive society exploits you by allowing you to feel like you have to be different and not a part of a group, like they've done many people. They've done this throughout history. They exploit people. They exploit all races and classes, and all this stuff is to help you feel separated, better than, less than, and all this, while those who are really at the top are exploiting everybody who's down here trying to be outliers, the greater than other people.
That's a word. You said a word right there. You said that they make independent sexy, in other words, and that the more independent you are, and then you get rewarded for it, so it makes sense. But it keeps you away from the group, and really, that's how you grow, is within the group.
Yeah,
in the community. So it puts you into this individualistic thing. And I was telling my mom the same thing. This thing about independence and individual is all taught, so you cannot grow as a community. So we got to be careful that the messaging that we're performing is trauma. So when we have our own awards, we make it real raw. It's the word. Why does Black culture got to be so grimy?
Because
where we get that from? Like, our culture has to be so freaking real and so authentic and so grimy that until it's real, that is trauma.
Yeah. You speaking it. Look, hold up now. You told me, how's this trauma? Now you breaking it all down. Look how so that is trauma. Being grimy, being grimy, being seen as tough, being seen as a gangster on the
Yep.
outside is really saying I feel very vulnerable in the inside. So I'm going to I'm gonna project this image as I'm the toughest. And I appreciate growing up in the hood, you know, the hood.
Hoodie hood.
You know, I appreciate growing up around the way because I realize again that those who claim to be the toughest and walk around like they're the toughest, got their hand in their dip like we used to do back in the day,
They're
they're more scared. And when
Yeah.
they're on the porch with you and you talking to them, they're just human beings and they love their family. They might be hurt. They're afraid that somebody else might take advantage of them, so they got to do certain things. So they're really good human beings, you know. And say it again.
I said good human beings.
That's what they are.
That's
And
what they are.
and so a lot of us have it fooled to think who haven't really been in these environments. We think these are animals. We think that what we heard on the news is true. They
Yeah.
just shoot each other. That, you know, people are shooting
Yeah.
each other because they're in fear of their lives. They feel oppressed. They feel
That's it.
disrespected. And when you feel disrespected, and you feel like the society says you're supposed to act this way, what the society does, and what is tricky about trauma, again, about oppression, again, they'll have you thinking that they don't want you to do a thing, but telling you that this is wrong because they know that you're more likely to do it. So use a thug, and we don't want thugs. So you're gonna act like a thug because they don't want you to act like a thug, and or they don't want you to act thottish or what have you. And now you're gonna be as thottish as you can because you feel like you're fighting against the system or oppression, and I'm gonna
And the
do
system really wants you to act like that. They really have. They're fine with it. Actually.
Yeah, absolutely. So I say
We-
be careful.
Yes.
When you think that, and look, man, you're gonna fight on this one, even with vaccines or whatever. But nonetheless, when you think that they know how to come and they know when they offer you something, you're gonna be afraid of it. They already know that.
Mm-hmm.
They already know that they have many sociological studies to know that if you put a white man and he come in your community and say, do this, now be careful when they get the black people to do it. Now you that might be the one way, because they also know they always find it's important that they find people that look like us who may mean well even to come in and tell you things like, look, do this and do that and do this. They always find someone to kind of help you feel soothed or have. They know when
Go to the store, they go to all the stars, or they go to somebody who's influential, and they say, listen, have the black talk with your black people.
Absolutely. Or
and because they got a bag, they don't know, because I want the people to know that, you know, everybody's striving to be a star and all that, but everybody's being exploited. Let's be clear that in some way there's some exploitation because the system works. It is built in. We're talking about built-in systems. We're not talking about something that's outliers. Exploitation is built in. So then you become exploitative. You live your life in exploitation. You go when you want to get a job. That's how you think and how you can exploit. People exploit the system because we're learning it from the system. You know, it's an everyday thing. It's like eating something every day. You learn to like it. You know what I'm saying? You learn to like it. You might didn't like it before, but they start tasting good because you see the outcome. You get some money, you get a house, you get some cars. So, the exploitation is all right with me.
And you may not even know that you're being exploited.
You might not even know. That's the thing about it, is this thing is so baked in and it's so subtle. It works like in the back office.
Because I think human beings overall are really poor at being bad or being vicious. I mean,
you have to break them down for that. Yes.
Well, I think that you have to condition them to have them feel like they're doing what needs to be done. Like, for example, I'm talking about all human beings, not just black. I'm talking about all of them. Slavery is so successful because white people thought that was their right to enslave black people.
Yes.
You understand? If you go to other cultures where they had other forms of slavery less severe, you felt like it was your right to to have these servants, and people feel that there's a right for them to hold certain prestige in this country, and all the like people feel like it's their right to own land. Like how who gives you the right to own land? People do more harm in the name of good than they do in the name of bad. They just do.
That is something right there. That's a word too. That is absolutely a word. So and it's been good. We didn't get into a little late, so but I want to bring out the hot topic. July 1st. It's 420 out here. Listen, guys, go to part 1. Go to part 1. DHC Digital Healing Circle number 3 that we had last month. He came out, Dr. Da. He came out talking about 420 and how it's going to be bad and all of these things are happening and people are utilizing it for more than just therapeutic, or they're using it just to get high. People just trying to get high. So in Baltimore, Maryland, July 1st, you can have a certain amount of weed for personal consumption. I don't think you need the card anymore to go to like a dispensary.
Oh, no.
Weed is live out here. Weed is everywhere. It's gonna be at 7-Eleven. Weed is
7-Eleven?
I'm just saying, I don't know. But they smoking everywhere. You go outside, you smells weed. It's everywhere now. So what you thinking?
I felt like I smell less weed now. Honestly,
because they can do it everywhere. They ain't got they got to go outside.
They can't do a thing. I'm telling you, that's what we do. We if you tell me I can't do it, it's already. They already know psychologically that I'm going to want to break the system. Just like Adam and Eve. Eve broke the system because the good Lord said you can't eat of the whatever the tree of knowledge or what have you, right? So so temptation sets in, and all those type of things. I don't want you to tell me what to do. All that. We don't like people telling us what to do.
Nah. Now we're rebellious in nature, rebellious in nature.
Especially when we've been traumatized.
Yeah. And so the weed comes in and all, and I really think they're going to use it for trauma because it makes people docile. So they said, well, take the weed, you won't feel so traumatized, but you ain't gonna do nothing either. You're gonna eat, you're gonna sleep, and you're gonna chill.
You gotta look at your boy Wesley Muhammad's breakdown of marijuana. I'm not sure if I totally agree with it, but it's very interesting to watch.
Well, I definitely gotta look at that because I'm worried about 420 and my 420ers because whatever I was saying today, and I wanted to say that to you, is that whatever drug that's legal in America is a destructor. It's a destroyer. Tobacco, alcohol. So weed will be a destroyer. It does have medicinal effects, but America never errs on that side. It's always in a capitalistic side. So that means you got to mass produce it. You got to add to it. You got to get people super addicted to it. You got to use it in arenas for reasoning, for manipulative thoughts or actions. So there's no legal drug in America that is friendly. The pharmaceuticals got us messed up. You know what I mean? There's no legal drug that's friendly.
I think that to certain degrees, all of them can be beneficial. But when you're in a society that exploits everything and its people, the people will be exploited, and hence exploited people will exploit drugs.
That's a word. Oh! So that's what we are now. So I want the guys, listen. We talked about exploitation in so many different areas. And that's how you understand that how it's baked into our psyche, to how we present ourselves, how we interact with each other, the things that we do so we don't feel exploited. We want to get high. So it's so many. Exploitation is like a cancer in society because the behavior that it manifests does not move us forward.
Right. Yeah, and and there's, I think, appropriate usage for almost anything, right?
Yeah,
Um, I mean, even a bullet. There's appropriate usage for
it
almost
is.
anything. But
Yeah,
then there's when you pervert a thing and you take it out of order. And the society that we're in perverts nearly everything.
nearly everything.
So and yeah, so yeah, it sets us up for. We just have to be careful that we're not being exploited in the process. Yeah, yeah, and traumatized people just looking for a way. Hurt people are just looking for a way. People who are struggling are just looking for a way to just survive another day.
Yeah,
And so, I don't really blame people for doing what they're doing, but again, the same thing is we're ignoring the history, and we're participating in holidays like you started to show off, like July the 4th and other holidays that really weren't intended for us, and how we just don't want to look at that pain or feel that pain. It's just across the board, and then it's just expressed in so many different ways and so many different levels, as you stated already. Yeah.
and but sometimes you don't even think about it and understand too that sometimes you don't even know it's happening.
Yes, because you think you're being revolutionary or an antagonist or
Yeah,
aggressive, and not knowing that all that's being used against you.
you being played.
Yes.
You're absolutely being played. So I don't want that to happen to our folks. I'm talking to these entertainers. It's like you are the ones who are mostly exploited because you're bringing in money, and the more that what you bring in, they want more and more and more.
And the
So
and the problem is that the reality is the society is also is an illusion,
yes,
because even entertainers and all these other people who come before these cameras many times, even on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and all these different places, they're not necessarily. It's kind of like cribs. Most people aren't making that much money, and
mm,
but what people have learned to master is to look
delusion.
to look the
Mm.
illusion of success, and they realize that you will be so enticed that you'll just listen to them and allow them to have their way with you. I
Or
say show.
again though within that, that's a form of exploitation where the illusion makes you now give them attention so they can make money off of that. You know,
Absolutely.
because now we live in this, we have social media and it's exploitative. The more you do, the more they likes, the more money you get, the
uh
more crazy you are, the more people chime in. You understand when they say viral exploit.
And then you like, I got to do that again.
I gotta do it more. I gotta do it.
And so it now you may start to do things that are against your highest values. So it
Yes.
messes with your integrity. And
Yes.
you know, last week, well, in our book discussion, we had a very powerful conversation about the power of words. And I know a lot of people, I'll just drop this real quick. And, I know we like to call each other, hey, BITCH and hey, NIGGA. And then
Yeah.
somehow we don't feel that that is indicative of our trauma. I'm
It's
sorry to say it
it's
is.
trauma.
There's
Yes.
a certain energy. I'm not saying you can't say BITCH one time out your mouth, maybe sometimes here, but when you do it,
Sometimes you need to hit them with a B. Sometimes.
well,
But this what I hear now, it's just like it's not a love, it's not a love tap. It's
it's
not.
very difficult to really continue to call yourself a BITCH, yourself an NIGG, and all that, and really call other people that. And I'm not saying I'm just saying it is indicative of where you are. That's all I'm going to say.
It is.
And
Absolutely.
at some point in development, a person starts to feel that, oh my God, am I really saying it? Am I really, why am I, so you start to feel that. But to go back to what you were saying earlier, and this will be my last post that I read. Charlatan is at an all-time high, while mental health is at an all-time low. those who claim to be woke and conscious seem to be some of the most susceptible. So, this charlatanry is real. I see my brothers and
Okay,
sisters.
so give us a you gotta give us a definition of charlatry. We're you're the scholar in here. What's charlatry?
That's
Talk to
just
the people.
like, I guess that's more like a verb form of the noun charlatan. And I hold up, is charlatan a noun? Is it more of a
You the only master on here of the English language.
Oh, I'm not a master of
I'm not that.
I'm not
I'm
a
dim and all type of dim. You know how I talk. No, sir. So
yeah,
I can't help you.
yeah. So yeah, charlatan is a noun, right? So um, and I would say charlatanry is more probably a verb or something.
Of that. Okay, so
Yeah.
got it. So they need to look up charlatan because you never gave us a definition.
Say it again. Oh, charlatan. Oh, okay. A person who falsely claims to have special knowledge or skill, a fraud.
It's a lot of those out here, yo.
And
We call them NIGGA. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's a lot of them out here. Poverty pimps out here.
yeah, I call them the other day. I was texting a good brother of mine, and what I called it was prestige pimps,
Ooh,
prosperity pimps. That's what I call it.
right.
And
Yeah.
we ain't just talking about preachers. We talking about all these preachers.
It's preachers. There's a lot of folks doing this prosperity thing. These multi-level marketers. It's a lot of them.
Calling them all pimps, and
All
I'm saying they're all prosperity pimps. They all be very careful of those who telling you and selling you get rich quick schemes. Yes,
be very careful.
be very careful. It's a thing, and it's very destructive and it's pervasive in our community, and even more so after COVID and all these podcasters and all these different people who are out here who we really are attracted to with the lights, the camera, the glitz, and all of that.
Yeah.
Who really didn't have anything before they sold you the dream that they had something, and then they made money off of selling you a dream that they had something. So you started to invest in them, and and now they have something off of more of the idea that they had something than them really having something. I don't know if that makes sense, but
That's
yeah.
illusion. That right there is all illusion, what you just said. But
Yeah.
that's happened, and even though we're podcasting,
Uh-huh.
but I mean, there's a lot going on out here. So be careful, guys. And a lot of people's what they're creating out of a traumatic space. So when they create it, it's coming for you. It's not coming to help you. It's coming to get that bag. So whatever it takes to get it, they're going to do it. And so we got to be careful. And a lot of times at these times, when you come out of a disaster like a COVID or a catastrophic situation like that, people are in a state of euphoria. They're in a state of need. And so they're easily taken advantage of.
and,
So,
and euphoria, but more so anxiety.
anxiety too. Yes.
Yeah. And right now, it's so many different things going on. It's like COVID took place, and it's still taking place, quote unquote. I
It
think
is. I just left work. It's a lot of COVID out here.
yeah. So then you have the war that happened. You have you have all the stuff going on with the government, and what's the brother who you had all the race stuff going on with the police officers, and then you also have the war. Then you also have these wildfires. I mean, these wildfires and smoke over the city. So all this stuff is really impacting us, and we're very anxious about it. We don't know if we trust it, if we should trust it. I'm not saying you should. I'm not saying
vaccine stuff, all of this.
All that stuff is really playing on our brains,
Yes.
and we feel like we can't get a break. And and at this point, we're like, yeah, somebody's setting this up. And I understand why a person would feel this way, especially with some of these wildfires. I'm not suggesting that it is. I'm just saying that it's very logical and probable that I don't think it's illogical. I'm just saying it's not. I'm not saying that it is the truth though. But I think a logical brain will start to consider some things.
Okay. I hear you. Well, we're a minute. We're an hour and 9 minutes in. The DHC is really contracting, but we need you guys to stay in it. Have patience with us. Come on in, talk to us. contribute to the conversation, because this is a great conversation. I mean, I really enjoyed like talking about the nuances and how applying it to these real situations that we see every day. Every day. And so I don't think we're ever going to have a problem with conversations, because there's always something coming up in the world. We live in a crazy society. It ain't quiet. Ain't quiet. I was talking to my coworker about Dubai, and I'm like, I'm afraid to even go there, because I'm thinking I'm gonna do something wrong and be in, because you can't. They don't play. You're not cursing. You're not touching nobody. And so we in America, we don't have any morals and values, huh?
Don't bring that legal weed over here.
Yeah, and you can't go over there and talk about my rights. They don't give a shit about none of that. And weed is legal. You better get. They're gonna put you in jail. So that's a society like that is not what we're used to. We're not used to that. We live in a more demoralized society. So when we go over there, we're like, I'm scared to go over there.
Right.
I'm pretty good with my language, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but anything else you want to talk about?
I don't have anything else personally.
Nothing else. Can you drop a jewel on us, Dr. Doc?
Yeah, drop a jewel. That's how you do it, huh?
The DHC for a jewel. Drop it.
I think I dropped a lot of jewels today, but what I would say is keep your eyes open. Try to keep yourself level. Take care of yourself. Self-care. And I'm saying these things. These aren't really like. This is not going to be the most eloquent jewel, but make sure you get sleep.
Yeah, this is things to do to live.
Drink plenty of water.
H2O. Aqua.
Eat well. I would say make sure you move. Because lots of us, we're just not moving. And all this stuff builds up. And all the things I'm saying, it helps you with your mental.
Yeah.
Hence your spiritual.
Yeah.
And when you don't do these things, you feel a lot of tension. And when you have a lot of tension, you feel more oppressed in your own body. If you can do these things, you'll feel more free and be less likely to have to seek other avenues that are maladaptive to help you feel liberated at a cost of your own.
Maladaptive. Love that word. Okay, well, this has been that's a beautiful jewel, because it's steps for life. So I like that. Be safe, eat, sleep. You gotta do those things. None of this works without that.
And we're not. That's the reality.
We're not.
I mean, so it sounds simple, but a lot of people that look like you and me aren't doing these things. I'm going to assure you that a lot of people aren't doing all of these things, but I know that lots of us aren't doing even the simple things as such as getting sleep.
Yeah, it's sleep. Sleep is hard to come by in some people's lives.
And in 3 hours, I'm sorry, y'all, it's just not enough. 4 hours is not enough.
Not enough.
It's not. No, that's indicative of trauma.
Listen, that's the segue into DHC 5. That's going to be August 9th, 2023. We'll be here 8 p.m. Come through. Tell everybody, lottie-dottie, everybody. That's the saying. We're coming through August 9th for the next Doc in the Box. We'll be here 8 p.m. Come back through BLakBoXXaS. This is...
I want to offer up something. You might get me for it, but...
Go ahead.
Join us in the studio. Let's talk about some of these issues in a group format.
Absolutely, join us. I'm down for that. We can accommodate up to 5. Come through. Come through. It'll be a nice interaction. So, Dr. Dodd, I appreciate you. I thank you for your candor, your insight, your transparency. DHC4 is.
You was doing all the teaching today.
I was a therapist today.
Yeah, give her a thumbs up. She was doing her thing today. She act like she didn't know what I was talking about when I said these topics in trauma, and she kept saying trauma. That's trauma. This exploitation is trauma. I think the light went on in her head.
It did, because I really want us to think about our trauma. And I think a lot of times the problem with African Americans, I've always said, is we pack trauma, and we're continuing to pack trauma, and we're exploding. And that's why we see the manifestation of our behaviors is explosion of the trauma. We got to address it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think what I'm hearing you say also is we have to know what it looks like, because it's one thing to mention that, it's trauma, but it's another thing. What does this trauma look like? What is the symptomology?
That's why we do this. How, like, you look at July 4th and it's just a holiday, but then we try to flip it and show you that it's more than a holiday, and how it's living in your mindset and how you're performing it. You've de facto left the history just to be happy because you don't want to deal with that. That's trauma.
All these firecrackers for what?
For what?
I mean, it's beautiful, but it's also very violent. Firecrackers, it's very violent. My mother's dog is being abused. I'm sorry to say that, but my mother's poor dog, the K9, is just being abused every time firecrackers going off, shivering all over the place.
Oh, she can't stand it.
No, you have K9 ears are they're very sensitive. They can hear things, and the dog is just shivering and it's traumatizing the poor dog. Or the dog is not probably traumatized because it does know to shake, but it's like that's what animals do. They shake.
It's anxious. Like, what is this? Yeah.
And they shake off trauma. Like animals, after they've been captured or what have you, they get away, they gotta shake it off to kind of not be traumatized. Hence, that's why I'm saying that we as human beings, or we have to also do movement to.
We gotta shake it off.
Yeah, we have to shake it off.
We gotta shake it off. That's just what it is. Listen, DHC4 has been successful. We're moving into DHC 5 August 9th. Come through, like, share, subscribe. Please comment. Come join us next time. Dr. Dar he sent out the invitation. I do whatever he says, so we're gonna do what he said.
I may invite some personal people if that's okay.
That'll work. That'll work.
Send Sister Queen B, aka BlakBoXXaS, send her some, send her email or what have you.
BlakBoXXradio@gmail.com.
If you want to be involved.
Exactly. Please do that. So, Dr. Dot, thank you. We'll talk. Bless you. The community needs you. Appreciate you.
Likewise. Thank you.
We're boxed up and out. Let's get them deuces, bro. Deuces. Look at you. I always got to be so distinguished. I just love you for that.
I don't know what I did, but okay.